catchment areas, who will be the students where we can go for catching. But since I have just limited my topic to the banking, then I would like to come on the banking. Sir. Yeah. Commercial banking generally relates to accepting deposits and lending and investing. These are the major functions. It is regulated by RBI. At present, net demand and term liabilities are supposed to be put on 4% and SLS statutory liquidity ratio at 23% of net DTL. This is just for why people give us deposits. They give us deposits that because they trust that bank will pay that money to them on time. This is ensured by these regulations that this much amount we have to keep as liquidity. Now comes the question how investment and lending are segregated by the banks. Lending is more lucrative because we get more interest and more earning in the lending. That is why credit is also called the lifeline of the banking. Cardinal principles of lending are loss prevention, liquidity and lucrativeness. Firstly, the loan which we are giving, it does not go back and we should get the repayment of that money so that we should be liquid to further advance it. And third is the lucrativeness. In the banking parlance, earlier we said that that this is simply the jugglery of the words. Sometimes the bankers are the lenders, sometimes the people, the customers who are depositing us are the lenders. Sometimes we accept their deposit, means they become the lender and we become the acceptor. Nowadays it is not, it is considered as the borrowers are also our partners. We are sleeping partners and they are active partners, means banks are managing their business. So we also require to monitor their business.
Sir, please continue. Time is over.
One more thing I would like to tell, that in free riding session, what is there, that the banks or the financial intermediaries or financial institutions are not spending more money in fetching the information from the market, and so many information companies are there. One is CIBIL. CIBIL is known everywhere and everyone knows about CIBIL because CIBIL scores, on the basis of CIBIL scores we are rating the people. Another one is Equifax Credit Information Services Private Limited, High Mark Credit Information Services Private Limited, Experian Credit Information Company of India. And one more thing I wanted to tell, that Harvard University professors have designed a method, entrepreneurial finance lab psychometric testing, which says that we should first analyze on the basis of 50 odd questions our borrowers, and then we should decide about whether that person will default in repayment of the loans or not. And now, as Dr. Pandey also referred, that UIDAI, Unique Identification Authority, PMJDY, which are working a lot for financial inclusion. We hope that all these things will help in tracking the borrower and eradicating information asymmetries. Thank you.
Thank you, Deepchandra. Now we are inviting the next one.
Mr. Udit Pandey, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. My topic is employability issue in higher education. I study with respect to commerce education. Before I start with my topic, I just want to mention that what is the demand within the industry and what is the status related to the skills requirement as per the commerce educated students, and what we can provide to the students in context of they'll be eligible, they'll be fit for the requirement of all the industries. The term employability, when we look forward for, that employability leads towards any individual's capability that he will be able to serve all the sets of requirement which is being asked in the industry, and whatever will be the capability or potential of that individual, that will be called, that will be make that individual employable. So this is the one of important part which is to be considered while making any kind of course curriculum or going ahead for any kind of nurturing among the students. Proceeding further, can we have the next slide? I have my objective to study about the higher education, what is the status of higher education, and thereafter about the commerce education system, then employability challenge, and taking forward for the suggestions which are available. Can we have the next? This is the status related to when we look forward for the commerce education that started in 1867, and thereafter we can identify we have plenty of available universities which are providing different education into different streams, and in this when we look forward for affiliated and other universities which are providing these courses, the number is getting increased, whereas the quality is getting decreased. Now, how we can measure the quality and where we need to emphasize, that will be the next slide. This is related to the status which being decreased. Like in numbers, we will be identifying there is a since 2006 there is an increase in commerce graduate, or there is a higher side. Commerce graduate percentage is 86%, and this is not mentioned over here. Whereas as per the studies, 86% are commerce graduate and 12% are related to the M.Com studies and rest areas. Whereas what is the requirement of the industry that is being done under the skills development report, which is projecting 2012 related data for what are the skills requirement among the students which can be employable within the industries. And in that, it will be very, we'll say, said status of commerce that is calculating only 0.12% of students or skill set related to management and other disciplines. It is not clearly mentioned under the report that specifically for the commerce, but it is mentioned management and other, that is only 0.12% of the skill set required in the industry. Now, this is what is questioning us, that where we are heading and what we are nurturing to the students. Now, in that context, if we look forward, I'll be just looking forward for the skills set requirement. That is, we can have training supply. Training supply will be on the basis of demand gap which we have identified, and further, that will be certain things, the solution in terms of that will be the technical part and the skill set. What are the demands? Demands are related to the engineering students, IT sector students, those are into service sector. They are under the skills report that is being demanded in the market, whereas commerce citizens, they are not looking, they be not asked within the industry, and what are the things which we can do that I'll be more emphasizing on, which will be in the suggestion slide. The first, they need to have emphasis on developing not a commerce graduate but an entrepreneur. If we are developing entrepreneur, that will be byproduct is going to be employable in the industry. In spite of emphasizing one individual with a skill set which will be fit to the industry, if we develop an individual to establish their own business, can have run their own business, in that context, definitely the industry set will be met and there will be no requirement further for providing or developing any content which will be meeting the requirement. Why this is important? Because the requirement in the industries are fluctuating, and these fluctuations are not constant. These fluctuations are within seconds, or you will say within 1 minute you have one requirement and the next moment you are looking forward for the another requirement. So how we are going to meet that? If we develop entrepreneurship, that will be leading towards that the person will be best fit for any kind of situation whenever it arises. The next concern is that how the system can be. The individual who is nurturing students, they themselves need to be involved in certain industries. And how it is possible that different universities, colleges, those are running their courses, individual knowledge providers need to be a part of some industry, need to be a part as a working man in any industry, so that actually he has got a glimpse of the right platform. In spite of that person is possessing any kind of theoretical knowledge, they will have what will be the actual status. One of my practical within the classroom, I come up with a virtual organization creation. Within that, the departments being created among the students, and they will be responsible for all the activities which they have to conduct within any organization. But still, a virtual organization cannot provide a simple scenario, same scenario which can be actually drawn. So I was just going through with all these that field of like research level, another study being provided that only 1% people are enrolled into research, and as being described by the other speakers, that research work is not up to the mark. So that need to be encouraged, and along with that, the people need to be provided with the research into a right platform. So I will just closing with the conclusion that in spite of we are engaging the classroom, open studies can be a better help in terms of when an individual being a part of industry and provided with the opportunity has all the evaluation on the basis of what performance being provided in the industry, and if that person performs good, he will be provided 80, 90 or any of the mark which he deserves for. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, Uday Pandit, that you have quoted one, that is quality versus quantity. Our universities are producing quantity, not quality. The second one is what are the skill requirements? And next solution you said development of entrepreneurs and industry interaction. Thank you.
Next speaker, Ms. Bhanupriya Bhatt.
Good evening to all the respected persons here. My topic is commerce education in need of immediate recitation. Simply, I mean to say that commerce education need to be recited. Like, there need some changes in the commerce education. My aim is to discuss the issues in the present commerce curriculum, why commerce education needs some makeover, and how to overcome the challenges in the commerce education. First and the most important thing, before doing anything, we must have an objective. And the objective of our commerce education should be to promote general education of business and commerce, to impart a temper rooted in commerce, and to create awareness of global economic scenario. Apart from that, to promote entrepreneurial skills for self-employment, to train students for specialization, creativity and innovation in economic and business activities, and to prepare students for executive and non-executive positions. But we are not able to fulfill these objectives because of the reason that our curriculum is not focused on this. Present curriculum of commerce education. If I want to give you a brief of the present curriculum of commerce education, this is totally theoretical based and classroom based learning. We are providing students only a bookish knowledge, not about the changing scenarios, current business activities and all. Simple examination pattern, we are evaluating students simply on the basis of terminal, semester and annual examination, not on the basis of any other thing. No proper and specific techniques to evaluate and impart skills. As commerce students need various skills to do business, to do various other business activities, but we are not imparting any skills in the students. Less use of technology. This is the main drawback of commerce education nowadays. There is no use of technology in commerce, as we are totally running towards from the old based curriculum, so we are not focusing on the technology. Weak linkage of commerce, of education and industry, as we are saying MBA is taking place of commerce. The reason is only that commerce is not linking to the industry directly. Low job orientation. That's why students are not coming to commerce more and more, because there is low job orientation. Why commerce education needs a makeover? The reasons are that commerce is related to trade and industry, and trade and industry is changing day by day. There are various changes because of LPG, liberalization, privatization and globalization, information and communication technology revolution. This revolution and changes has done various changes in commerce industry. Skill set required by MNC. Now MNCs are emerging very nicely, and commerce student is unable to cope up with the requirement of the MNCs. Development in trade and industry. Trade and industry are growing rapidly, but commerce curriculum is strictly old. Demands and expectation of the employer. They want jack of all trade types employee, and we are not imparting any skills to the students. Challenges in commerce education. What are the major challenges? What we need to change in commerce education? First of all, re-establishment of course curriculum. Why? Because we need to change classroom training. We have to change the education beyond classroom. We have to change the commerce education through activity-based learning, making education more job-oriented, focus on current scenario, and inculcate more features in the curriculum. So first important need is re-establishment of course curriculum. Second is admission procedure. If we see the admission procedure to the commerce student, there is no procedure. We are giving admission to at least minimum 40% passed student can take admission to BCom and MCom, or other 50% or 60%. There is no procedure for proper standardized procedure is not there. Either a science graduate or an arts graduate or anyone can take admission to the commerce stream. Skill and professional faculties. Although we have very good and knowledgeable faculties in the field of commerce, old faculties, but still a faculty is required who can motivate students, lead by example, inspire, who can be a good mentor, promote teamwork and provide vision to the students. Teaching techniques. Our teaching technique, as our syllabus is totally classroom-based syllabus, so teaching techniques are not required at all. So if we need to change or re-establish the course curriculum, we also need to focus on the teaching techniques to develop the skills in the student. Like first of all, we need to educate commerce students through seminars by presenting the real cases, by presenting the real situations. Activity-based learning. A managerial skills can be developed only through activity-based learning. If we give the student a simple situation, he will react over on it. And when he will react on it, he will learn many things which he cannot learn through the books. Audio visual for live projection. We can present students live projections, live problems, business case studies. Rapport between industry and educational institute. For giving commerce education a new look, there should be a rapport between industry and educational institute through guest lectures from the industries, through campus placement in commerce, discussions on current business scenarios, and industrial training and projects for students as well as for the faculties. Not only student training and projects should not be limited only to students, it will be also for faculties. Development of various managerial skills. We are saying MBA, CA, ICWA, they are taking place of commerce. A student who do graduation in commerce suddenly switch for masters either for MBA or ICWA or CA. Or the students who are doing CA, they are doing graduation BCom for safe side. Like if we get failed in CA or something, then we have 1 degree of commerce. What is the value of BCom education then? This is a great matter of thinking. So we should develop managerial skills so that the student can get job after BCom also, after MCom also. And the managerial skills are leadership skills, reasoning, planning, soft skills, entrepreneurship skills, and literacy, numeracy, and accuracy. Techno-friendly education. The basic issue in the field of education in commerce is techno-friendly education. We should inculcate IT skills and various software skills to the students so that they can be more techno-friendly. And the last suggestion from my side is more number of specialization and market research is required in the field of commerce education. As we will add more education in the master's program of the commerce, the students will get